Today I want to check out what masculine energy truly means by some really simple examples. Like when you see these people or you talk about these people, you can exactly know that they have masculine energy. And these are really simple things. Maybe you want to change them in your life to feel a bit more masculine, or maybe you already are and this will just validate it. Or maybe you know people who have these attributes. So it is very interesting to check out what people think masculine energy is. So yeah, let's go and check it out, shall we?
A man who can sit comfortably in silence is a very powerful man because
True.
he shows that he's confident and he doesn't need constant conversation to feel comfortable. Insecurities are loud. People who are overly loud and attention seek are typically insecure about something. And they're trying to overcompensate for it to hide that insecurity. They need external validation to feel good about themselves.
True.
Silence makes most people feel uncomfortable, so they feel the need to fill it with talking.
Insecure people always feel the need to fill in the silence. They feel completely uncomfortable. They want to talk. They make jokes. They just simply try too hard to impress others. Have you ever met people who are just present in a room and they don't have to talk a lot? They just are there. They're listening. They are answering simply when being asked. They don't feel the need to fill in every empty space. And somehow these people who give the least and try the least are the most respected out of all. It adds some type of mysticism to them. It elevates them. And you are there just looking at them, observing them, and thinking, what is going on? So yeah, let me know, guys, do you prefer people who are constantly talking, constantly engaging, being there, or the more confident men who are just present and listening and being more simple about it?
I'm a calm person by nature. I don't like chaos. I don't enjoy confrontation. I don't wake up wanting to argue or fight or prove anything. Peace is always kind of in the default setting for me. But I've met people who knew exactly how to pull me out of that calm. People who studied my silence, my patience, my softness, not to appreciate it, but to test it.
If you see, for example, in movies, it's always the masculine men are the ones that are so dominant. They are the strongest men. They're constantly there fighting. But real strength comes from people who are calm, who don't have the need to show this aggression, who don't have the need to show that they are strong, they're men. They are completely fine with not showing it. So in my opinion, in real life, men respect people who are more calm. And I feel like this is a dominant thing within mentors, fathers, and leaders. They are calm. They don't have to show that aggression. They don't have to be the loudest in the room in order to show power.
Masculine energy is not being aggressive. It's being calm.
Exactly.
So most men think being masculine means being dominant, loud, fear, rah-rah. You know what I'm saying? Nah, masculine energy is found and when you don't even have to raise your voice. It's in how calm you can stay when life tries to shake you. Think about it.
People who pushed and poked and twisted situations just enough to get a reaction out of me.
And they don't.
People who dragged me into versions of myself I didn't even recognize or like. And the second I reacted, the second my tone shifted or I defended myself or I finally said enough, that's where, they were there right away to say the line they've been waiting to say all along, which is like, see, that's who you are. No, it's not. That's not who I am. That's who I became in a moment I never wanted to be in. That's who I became when someone pushed past every boundary I set quietly. That's who I became when my calm was mistaken for weakness and when my patience was stretched into permission. My character isn't defined by the moment I broke. My character is defined by all the moments I didn't. By every instance I chose understanding over anger. And by every time I let things slide that I shouldn't have. And by every situation where I swallowed frustration instead of creating more of it.
Oh, yeah.
People love to judge you for your reaction, but they never acknowledge the 1,000 pushes that came before it. So, if you've ever felt out of character, if you've ever reacted in a way that shocked even you,
exactly.
If you ever look back at a moment thinking, that wasn't me.
Yeah, like there are these moments where I'm not a man, but I think this also defines every human being. Like that's your worst self, and you don't want to go back to that. And you hate that even someone else made you react that way and got the better of you, how they say it. So, yeah, I think that doesn't define the person, but it also means that you kind of did lose. You lost. The moment you lost and you reacted is the moment you gave them the power.
Wrong, because who you are in a moment of exhaustion, pressure, or, provocation is not the full story of who you are. The real you is the one who tries, the one who chooses calm until calm is no longer an option. Yeah. The one who stays grounded until someone rips the ground from under you. The one who finally reacts, not because you're unstable, but because you're human.
Yep.
So no, the out of character moment, it doesn't rewrite your identity. It doesn't define your nature. It doesn't cancel out your calm. It was a reaction, not a reflection. And I won't let anyone, not even myself, use one moment to erase the person I actually am.
Masculine energy is found and when you don't even have to raise your voice. It's in how calm you can stay when life tries to shake you. Think about it. A lot of men are aggressive because they're insecure. They think force equals strength. But aggression is just usually a cover-up for fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of being seen. Fear of not actually being enough. And I get it. The masculine man isn't out here trying to prove a point. Why? Because he is the point. He doesn't yell to be heard. People listen because his presence speaks before his mouth ever does. And to me, that's real power. Listen to me. Women, they don't feel safe around aggression. They feel safe around certainty. They can sense when a man is driven by chaos versus conviction. Masculinity is not in chasing control. It's mastering self-control. Stop trying to control others and worry about controlling you. Because the loudest man in the room usually is the weakest one. But the quiet...
It's like dogs. All right, I'm sorry to compare. I'm not comparing men with dogs, but I am trying to say the animal in them. Small dogs are the loudest, but they are nothing, right? Compared to big dogs who don't even bark, who barely bark. So what does that really tell you? It is the insecurity speaking louder. And a lot of situations when it comes to arguments, when it comes to whatever problems that you're dealing with your significant other, you do sense that the woman is usually the louder one, right? Why is that a thing? It's because they do feel like they don't have the masculine energy, which is completely true. So they have to compensate with being really loud to be heard, to get the attention, to get their point straight. I am not saying that's the best way, but that tells you that being loud, being very compulsive is in a way a weakness.
That's the one that doesn't flinch, doesn't fold. That's the man who wins in the long run. So if you want to be masculine, if you have an issue with that, stop trying to be fear and lock in on becoming respected.
When you have a closing attitude, like you're negative, you're anxious, you're always seeing the bad side of things, that lens gets very narrow until you only have this kind of single focus, which is all on the negative. And because of that, you lose opportunities. You are the source of your own problems. Because you are anxious and negative and narrow and seeing all the negative things, you make bad decisions. You decide not to start that business when it's actually the best thing that you could do. You decide to take that job that pays so well because you want money, but it's not a job suited to you. You're making bad decisions because of your attitude. If you are open and expansive, if you are not afraid of life, if you think of something as an adventure, and if I start that business, if I write that book and it fails, so be it. I've learned something. It's fun. It's like if I cross that river, I leaped across it and I fell. Okay, I got wet. It's a little bit cold. So what? It made me tougher. That expansive attitude creates your circumstance.
Mindset influences the outcome. It literally influences your decision. And it is so important to have the right mindset in your life in order to succeed. There is nothing wrong in failing. Actually, the majority of people fail and fail and fail before succeeding majorly. Because with failing, you are learning. With every downgrade, you are upgrading. Starting a business, changing your job because you are not happy with the job you are with, leaving a relationship, starting a new relationship, trying something new and different, actually putting eggs in different places and trying different things, even though nobody agrees with you, nobody believes in you. You're the only one who thinks you can succeed and you just want to try it. And there is nothing wrong in failing. If you just sit around there, if you are just sitting and not doing anything, that is the real problem. In my opinion, that is the loser. That is the person that is losing majorly. I mean, I could start from myself with YouTube. I was living in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I was the first female YouTuber who started that business. And everybody around me, the society, my family, my friends, nobody believed in me. They were all thinking, what are you doing wasting your time? Well, guess what? I did fail. I kept failing over 6 months. It took me 6 months to make my first dollar, and I celebrated that first dollar. Hell yeah, I did. I bought bubblegums. I actually was so happy after 6 months of working 12 hours almost every single day. I would work as a teacher and then I would work on YouTube. Sometimes I would wake up at 4 in the morning to keep up with the trailers that are coming out 8 p.m. in New York or whatever, so I can watch them from my country. At 4 in the morning, I would wake up, I would work until 6, 7 in the morning, then I would go to sleep. So you guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is there anything that you think yourself failed miserably at just to succeed the next day? Like, let me know, are you a person who tries or are you a person who just gives up and doesn't even try? Do you want to change that about yourself or not? If you have anything to share with me and if you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more and see you next time. Bye!